Mm. In the bottom right-hand part of the map, we have from Clan Blackberry, it is AceAl as our pink Zerg.
And in the top left, our purple Zerg player. Costa Rica, it is LOFAC's AMH. What is that?
Well, AceAl is referencing mining for fish. I'm assuming that's talking about Age of Empires there, maybe. And I don't remember what the loadout button is from.
Huh. Interesting.
Wait, what? I don't understand it. Okay, whatever. I like AMH's answers. I just smash buttons until units come out. And that's frankly actually very accurate.
My bad, sorry. Good idea.
So, interesting thing to me is I actually did not remember AMH being Zerg. I thought he was Protoss.
Right.
But
and I thought that Al also was not Zerg, but he's actually random, yeah. So
he technically isn't. His best race is Zerg, which is why he's playing it. The pros do like 300 button smashing, so we'll be okay. Now, however, Ace is currently illustrating my kind of early game button smashing, which is there isn't any at the beginning of the game.
Which is measured in WPM rather than APM.
As I was saying before, with my wrists being the way they were, I've become way more efficient with what I do with my actions. I'm no longer trying to increase my APM score by virtue of smashing the buttons at the beginning of the game and harming myself before I even actually do anything.
You're trying to be as efficient as possible.
Yes.
The least amount of fuel. We got a little bit of a lopsided opening here. We got AMH opening first with a hatchery and then the spawning pool. And Al is going for pool and gas. How do you think that's going to shake up in the middle? Or, not in the middle, but in the early game. Speed's coming out.
AMH going for the faster expand build. Something that I think Ace is going to be pretty in good position to actually punish with this. This always strikes me. I haven't really watched a lot of ZVZs in a while, come to think of it. I just haven't seen as many of them occur in WCS recently when I've been watching, but it has been entirely consistent. Still true, though, that no matter how they change anything that relates to this matchup, it still can just end out of nowhere.
Yeah, it's a very volatile matchup. I've heard it described several times, and I like to use the same analogy. It is basically a knife fight between two men, but there is only one knife.
And, you know, if you're lucky, they're like disarming each other constantly, kind of missing each other with the knife, and it turns into a really cool martial arts action scene. And if you're not lucky, one guy takes the knife and stabs the other dude, and it's over.
Or he drops it on himself.
Or yeah, he like, you know, he tries to disarm it, and it kind of like slips out of his fingers, and then he stabs himself, and then the other guy beats him up. So, you know, that's just the way it goes.
Indeed.
But it looks like both of these guys are going for a little bit more of a laid-back approach instead of trying to go for the earlier. Well, he is grabbing some early lings, but this is more just to put pressure on his opponent, get his own natural up in the back of this. Though he's actually producing a lot of lings, so he may not have drones in mind anytime soon. Speed is coming out, though. Baneling Nest coming up. So pretty much what AMH needs to do is buy time until that's ready. Once he has a couple Banelings in play, he can push the lings back pretty far. But it looks like Ace may not be giving him that kind of time. He's going immediately into the base and trying to go for the drone line to do as much damage as he can. Get rid of the queen, cut down on the production. And this is pretty insane amount of damage that he could be taking here. How many drones did he actually lose?
6.
Killed 6. That was a lot of lings for that. Here comes some more Zerglings. The battle is not done just yet. No mining whatsoever for AMH at the moment, though, which is also harming him, causing him to fall behind a little bit here.
11 drones lost.
Orlings pouring out across the map, and now Banelings are in place. So I think AMH has more or less held this initial push. It doesn't mean it's done just quite yet, but once one or two Banelings are in play, this is going to get a lot harder from here. Ling's coming forward. He's going to gnaw down the natural. See if you can take that out. Out comes the one baneling, and that's going to scare everybody away.
Ooh,
There we go.
Up.
Now he's going to try and... This is the next stage of the fight where the one Ling runs forward to gnaw on the baneling's face a little bit and scare it away for a second or two, and then he goes to gnaw on the natural a little more. Basically, overall, just lots of gnawing going on. And Lings at this stage of the game cannot survive cannot survive any hits from banelings whatsoever until armor upgrades are in the game later. Dodging back and forth, and the baneling's coming forward. Will he actually kill it? Will the base survive? No. The base survives totally fine, and tons of banelings are not being produced.
Ow. That's an awesome hold from AMH there. Didn't actually have to use his baneling. AceAl responding with the immediate 5 Evo chamber wall with 2 spine crawlers behind him. Really does not want those banelings getting into his base.
Okay, so actually it looks like AMH is actually just going to sit. Just going to macro up a bit. He doesn't intend on attacking back, which will probably equalize this game in some ways. It's still a reality, though, that AceAl is now ahead by about 10 workers, and that's pretty intense at this point in the game. He's getting his own baneling nest up. And yeah, AMH is just going to try and get himself back into this. He's evening out the worker counts. And going to proceed from here. So at this point, we pretty much are just going to wait for the next stage of tech transitions. We have the Ling Bane early stage, which often accompanies ZVZ. And from here, it can go a number of directions, but the most common one by far is Roach. Roaches can deal with the banelings fairly well because they force really inefficient exchanges, and you can build a lot of them real fast, so you can run your opponent over with them. Note that there's a pattern here with this. It's speed. Sometimes you can get away with it. You can go Mutalisks as well, though the Death Star cannons, known as Spore Crawlers, usually make that a little bit unwise.
Yes, Death Star
people don't tend to go for them as much. I really am of the belief that anytime a Spore Crawler is firing at a Mutalisk, instead of shooting that little like green acid ball thing, it should really just fire a laser. Just be like
laser beams. So we're talking about upside down Colossus then. Yep, AMH grabbing the second gas on his natural there. Now has three gases. He does not have the second one on his main.
Think about that. The color mod we have going right now actually does make the banelings a little hard to tell apart if you're colorblind in this particular way. To which I apologize to anybody who does have a difficulty making a distinction between light purple and pink. So, however, this is an interesting one. So at this point from here, kind of a side effect of the way Ace's base is now structured is he actually can't really go back out and pressure AMH unless he breaks down his own wall, which he's starting to do. I believe Lings can slip through that, by the way. I think that didn't happen in Wings of Liberty, if I remember right.
Between the 2 spine?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or is it that they're a wall now and they weren't before? I can't remember.
We'll find out when...
Yeah, when he runs straight at it as soon as the Evo chamber dies.
Right.
Sorry, guys, we don't play Zerg. So
Yep.
little stuff like this flies completely over my head.
Yep. We're gonna call it as we see it. We're not seeing a lot right now.
And yes, it does. Okay,
Hey.
so that was what they changed. Lings running straight out of the map. Lots of them, actually, to the other side. Those Lings pick up on what's going on. There's still the banelings back home, though, so this is not a particularly huge threat, actually. And he's just going to run out straight with them. Unfortunately, if he leaves the base completely... Well, no, he picks up on him with Scout Lings, so he sees what's going on. A couple Lings running forward to try and cut down on their numbers. Going to fall right back into the Spine Crawlers if there's any banelings, though. And the other Lings are just going to go look around the map for other expansions and then go home. Most likely. Or wait for buddies and then attack again.
Yeah, in lieu of the attack, AMH did cancel a third, so he's still planning that. But he's gonna.
I think he's trying to hide it from that Overlord. It's seeing it now, though. So, the question is, will Ace actually move down and try and cancel that? He had a small window of time where he could have done that. I think he's storing his Lings on the wrong side of the map, though, really, to force that cancel. As now the wall is down and the army can respond pretty easily to that.
Ling's streaming forward here. Get the outer edges explored. Gonna check for this third. We'll see it.
Having a little bit of trouble, I think. Maybe microing around this part of the map. Even it's getting split up in some interesting ways. Runs a few Lings, trying to run them into the third to cancel that base. He's not quite able to do it. He's trying to run through now. He's actually gotten a decent number of Lings past the front. He's going to actually be able to totally kill the can. Kill the natural, finishes that off, and now he's going to go for the main. This is an incredibly nice attack from AceAl. Split up his units up at the front. He's doing some damage to the mineral line, but I think this is mostly getting cleaned up without too much being killed. Overall, Ace has killed 14 workers this game. I think it was about 8 that he killed just then. It's a pretty nice situation for him. And what is going on at the top of the map?
Oh,
no way! Baneling drop!
Carpet bomb the main.
Question is, does he actually have enough to destroy that, though? The workers see what's going on. He's running them away.
Run
The Overlords, however, are incredibly fast, and they're about to catch up with their army. The rest of the army from AMH is running down as fast as it can to the base of AceAl, which now does not have Banelings to defend it. All the Banelings find the workers, obliterate half of them, and now he's deciding what to do with that next. However, the army of AMH is now positioned at the front of his base, and he's going for an attack. AMH is grabbing the gold. And let's see how well he's defending this back. Oh, this, now the Banelings are actually coming in, doing a decent amount of damage. There's now Mutalisks starting to populate the field. Only a couple of them, though. And I don't think it's actually enough to deal with the roaches that are coming in. And I think equivalent damage is about to be struck to our pink Zerg here. He's losing his natural. That has gone down. More roaches coming up. He's found the macro hatch that was being built. That's going to go down as well. And it looks like the rest of the roaches are splitting off to go to the third as they get to work on the drones in the main base, as well as the Spire.
Spire's going to be a good pick off if he can. Nope, he's focusing aware. Going for the workers.
Meanwhile, the Banelings have gone off and killed off more of the economy of AceAl, and he's hidden 2 Banelings in the third. That's pretty much all he's got to work with back home, and I think AMH may actually be the one coming out on top of this one, just because he's going to leave his opponent kind of with no ability to produce anything.
Right.
The Mutalisks are not really responding to the roaches, so you can actually kill the Spire as well, which you really should do. But nope, it looks like he wants to retreat back home with this. He really needs to build some anti-air defenses.
Yeah, these roaches aren't going to cut it.
But there's nothing. There's no drones. He's got 1 drone working above 2. No, AMH, no! Don't send those all back there. No, it's a trap. It's a trap.
Oh, this is gonna be. Oh no!
Oh, has he noticed it? Yeah, his ace picked up.
Oh!
Yes, he did. Well, he obliterates half the workers there. It's not the rest of them. Here come the Mutalisks to finish off the rest. 2 Spore Crawlers going down. If those finish, that probably will. No, 3. Okay, if he can get all 3 of them up, probably will drive this back. The thing is, both players basically have no economies now, so if he can whoever stabilizes wins.
Yes.
That's all this comes down to.
Gonna have to focus on these 4s. Ugh. Ouch, ouch. Painful there, lost a couple Mutalisks. Plenty of time to get some more spores up there. Gonna snipe off this gold base. Free 300 minerals.
AMH 13 workers to AceAl's 8, and effectively the game is kind of resetting in some ways. It's going to be kind of one-ish base versus one-ish base.
Banelings. Took out a lot of the drones at the third.
Ace distance mining gas actually at the moment. So both players actually AMH is kind of the only one with consistent mining. He has put down so many Spore Crawlers and Spine Crawlers that he now equals his opponent's mining capacity.
Yeah.
Maybe a little overzealous with that, but now, at the very least, AMH cannot die right now. He's way too well defended for that. He's trying to make it as compact as possible to make sure nothing can be picked off from the edges.
Right.
And it looks like AMH is just going to get to work on everything else he can find. And one of the biggest problems for Ace at the moment, though, not for Ace, for AMH, is just over the Overlords. It's really not over his defenses. And losing all of those will put him in a position where he basically has nothing to work with. He's going to lose all of his tech. He's running some of the Overlords into the corner in an attempt to hide them. So this is a really tricky place to be. dealing with Mutalisks. You can't really leave your base. AMH says, well, since this is a show match, I will concede.
We concede.
Okay.
D.
The Shogun's ending 88. Oh, he doesn't actually have to do that at all right now. Crowley Rush. This is true, though. This game probably would last for another 40 minutes, and I think it's probably Ace who's taking it just because of how much damage he's got going on here. And it's,
It does make a difference.
like, AMH can build tech down here. He can defend against the Mutas, but I think Ace is going to recover far quicker at this rate. I hope he's just building Lings and Banes. He's saying he will concede, but he has not left the game yet. This is key.
This is a psychological game here.
This is all an illusion. Lings are now running across the map in order to attack Ace, or attack AMH's base. Banelings are running in. They're killing off specifically the Spore Crawlers, actually trying to defend them with the drones. Does not really pull that off, but... Meanwhile, Mutalisks killing off the lair. He's going to be able to complete that. This Spire is still here for Ace. But he's building only Lings now. It's just making use of the income that he has.
Oh, AMH walks right by the Spire. Those 3 Lings.
Oh.
Trying to get some work done here.
He's actually killing off a lot of the Lings as they appear. A couple Banelings kind of come out, and that'll probably deal with the remainder of AMH's ability to attack.
Nomad saying that he just needs swarm hosts.
Yeah, and kind of in a way that might work. But the problem is getting him at this point. I think it's... I'm not really sure what he can do. He has to rebuild all the tech.
He lost
the spawning pool.
Every single tech. 3 has been burned out.
So yeah, this is a best of 3, and this is game 1. Phew. Well.
He's huddling up there, in that one base.
Banelings come down. And the thing is, if you can kill the Spore Crawlers, the Mutalisks actually just end the game, and yes, there's nothing to deal with the Lings anymore. So that's it!
GG.
Very exciting way to start this.
Yeah. Very scrappy, interesting game there.